with psychedelicinvest.com. Today I'm going to be going over Novamind's Q4 earnings report. Novamind does ketamine therapy and ketamine clinics. Ketamine therapy and ketamine clinics. And I'm going to be comparing Novamind's earnings report to Field Trip Health's earnings report. So I also did a video on Field Trip's most recent and a couple weeks ago. You guys can check back and see that video and refer to it if you'd like. So let's get into it. Let's see what we have to kind of break down here. So as far as the revenue, Novamind reported for Q4 $2.4 million in revenue. Now, compared to Field Trip Health, who had $1.3 million. So they had about $1 million more in revenue. Novamind had about $1 million more in revenue compared to Field Trip Health. Really, really nice. More revenue is always better. So the winner here, Novamind, as far as revenue goes. Let's see. The operating expenses for Field Trip Health. So like the losses. So we'll just call it losses in general. So the losses for the quarter for Novamind were $3.2 million compared to Field Trip Health at $15 million. So this is like the biggest difference maker here between the two. Basically, Novamind is very close to offsetting their net loss or their losses with their revenue. I would say give them another year at this growth, and it's likely that their revenue will offset their cash burn, which is great. And you want to see stuff like this with these growing companies. And maybe Novamind isn't expanding as aggressively as Field Trip Health is, but Field Trip Health had $15 million in losses for the quarter, for just the quarter, compared to $3.2 million for Novamind. There's a huge difference there. So, like, as an investor, definitely keep an eye on this stuff. Another win for Novamind. And here's where the pendulum swings back into the favor of Field Trip Health. So Field Trip Health has basically a cash position of around $74 million. This is very, very significant. While Novamind has a total of so we'll look at their assets in general of $14 million. With specifically a cash position of $2.7 million. So, what does that tell me? It tells me that Field Trip Health obviously wins in that category. We're gonna go with the assets. We'll do $14 million compared to $75 million. So Novamind had $14 million. Field Trip Health has $74 million. Sorry. So that's a win for Field Trip Health. So why is this significant? So basically, Field Trip Health is going to be able to sustain themselves with their own cash for what's likely 2 years. I think it was. It came out to 12 for 10. It came out to 10 quarters, which is basically 2 years and 2 quarters. If we were evaluating it right now. So, Field Trip Health will be able to sustain themselves with their cash for longer. But here's the big but here. Because Novamind's cash burn is significantly lower than Field Trip Health, like I said, it's very, very likely Novamind will be able to offset their cash burn with their revenue within the next, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in a year. Like within a year or just a year in generally. So those are the big ones that I'm paying attention to when I'm evaluating them again. So they're honestly, I'll say this: I really like Novamind compared to Field Trip Health. I think Novamind is showing steady growth, showing the ability to generate revenue, and hopefully in the near future will be able to offset their cash burn with their revenues, like plainly said, just doing that. Um, where Field Trip, from the looks of it, listen, I'm not deeply and intimately familiar with Field Trip Health as a company, but it just looks to me like they're expanding. They're expanding at a more rapid pace. They have a much bigger cash position, and they're not generating as much revenue. So they're spending a lot of money, not making as much money as Novamind, but they can also afford to float themselves for the next, let's say, 2 years. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna give Novamind the winner here in the earnings report. In the earnings report battle with Novamind versus Field Trip. I'm gonna go over to just to um. I'm gonna go over to the sorry. I'm gonna go over to the charts now, and I'll just compare the charts, and then we'll just leave it at that. And we're back. All right, let's look at these charts. So now we're basically close to closing out the day. The trading day. It's 3:56 p.m. on Tuesday, the 1st of March. All right, so markets did not give. They didn't care at all about this earnings report for Novamind. We could end up seeing a delayed reaction similar to Compass Pathways, who I did a video on last week. Compass Pathways basically was hovering around the $10.50 area, and basically had a nice surge to $14.60 in the subsequent days. But the day of the earnings report, it did not move. So this could be another same type of situation with Novamind, but by the looks of it, because of all the fear in the markets and the looming possible war, or basically, I think Ukraine and Russia are whatever is happening with Ukraine and Russia when and also due to the fear in the markets. I am literally stumbling over every word I'm trying to articulate right now. So basically, this could be a delayed reaction because of all the palpable amount of fear in the markets, or this could just be the markets they just didn't really care. There was a pretty decent earnings report from Novamind, but not enough to move the needle for them. We'll see what happens as the weeks progress. What I'll say is this. At 20 cents a share, Novamind, to me, is extremely undervalued. Let's compare it to Field Trip, who, from their earnings report, have not done much. Their 136 was the low, and we're at $1.55 now. Really, really not much action since their earnings report, which I understand because their losses were tremendous for the quarter. For Novamind, I think they're extremely oversold right now. This company's not going to get lower than 20 cents a share. I don't think it. I think we're very close to a bottom right now. I think we've seen 17 cents a share as a low here, but I really don't see Novamind getting much lower than this. I would say this is certainly a very good buying point for them, and I might look into doing it myself, actually. Ketamine clinics, like I expressed in a prior video, are going to be the first to really generating revenue in the United States. And as you can tell, Novamind is doing it already, and they're doing a pretty decent job compared to Field Trip Health. So this is not investment advice, but I would say take a nice look at Novamind and see if you want to, if they look interesting to you. Out of Field Trip Health compared to Novamind, I like Novamind better just based on the financials alone. So we'll see what the market has in store for us the rest of the week, especially for these two companies. Yeah. I actually I like Novamind's earnings report, and I'm surprised to see no reaction really from the market. But yeah, we'll check in again. This is Adam with psychedelicinvest.com. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.